All right, so let's say you get hit by a company vehicle. Can you hold the company responsible? So essentially, this is what's called legal mechanism vicarious liability, where you hold someone else responsible for someone's negligence. So let's say John Doe is driving a car for, uh, Los Angeles Termite Service. I'm just making that company up. I don't know if that company actually exists. It probably does, but I'm just making it for a namesake. So John Doe's driving for Los Angeles Termite Service, and on his way to go and do a termite inspection, he goes and smashes into Jane Doe, unrelated, and causes a lot of injury. Can Jane Doe hold Los Angeles Termite Service responsible? The answer, she probably can. And the court looks at several factors, but mainly was the person driving in the course and scope of their employment when they got into the accident. So why is this important? Why is this helpful? Because most likely Los Angeles Termite Service is going to have a lot more insurance coverage than John Doe. Companies usually hold a lot more insurance than individuals, so that's something that attorneys definitely want to investigate. Because let's say, for example, that the accident happens and John Doe only has $15,000 in insurance, but you have $25,000 in medical bills, then it's going to weigh down how much you're really going to walk away with. But let's say Los Angeles Termite Service has, $100,000, $250,000 in insurance, and Jane Doe is severely injured, she can go after those lump sums, go after much higher amounts, much more easily than going after John Doe's insurance. So vicarious liability is a very important factor in looking into. That's one of the reasons why Uber lawsuits and Lyft lawsuits can be lucrative, because when they're driving in the course and scope of while they're driving for Uber or Lyft, I mean, Uber and Lyft are not going to call it an employment, but it really is an employment, and that's a very heavily litigated question, but that's for another time. Uber and Lyft, they have generally much higher policies than the driver themselves, that they were not driving in the course and scope of their employment. I'm going to call it employment. I don't really care what Uber or Lyft says. Employment with Uber or Lyft. So vicarious liability, employer responsibility, it's a real thing. It's something worth looking into. If you get into an accident, you can even ask the person, hey, are you driving a company vehicle, or were you on your way to a company meeting, or what were you doing? Where were you on the way to or from? Is actually a question that's very often asked in car accidents in discovery during the litigation phase. So it's generally a very common question to find out. Even, if you settle a case before litigation, the attorneys often want them to, the insured, the person who's getting released from liability, the person who caused the accident, generally they want them to sign declarations saying, hey, I have no other insurance and I wasn't driving in the course and scope of any employment, before actually letting them out of the case. So it's definitely an important question to see whether or not they caused the accident while they were doing some kind of employment task, and see whether that employer has more insurance. So I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you guys want to know anything else. Ask me any questions. All right, see you later.